Picture this. You're 17, your investment account just crossed $1,000, and everyone assumes you've won the game of life. Supercars, luxury penthouse, unlimited freedom, that's the fantasy. But the reality is way stranger, and honestly, way more interesting. Because once the excitement wears off, you discover something nobody talks about. Money doesn't change the world around you first. It changes the way the world treats you. Friends, family, dating, decisions. Even buying a simple coffee, it all starts feeling different. So what does having $1 million as a teenager actually feel like in 2026? Let's step into that life. The first surprise isn't what you can buy. It's what you stop worrying about. Your phone screen cracks? Annoying, not a disaster. Your laptop dies the night before a project? You replace it. An unexpected medical bill? You pay it. That's the weird thing about financial security. It isn't loud. It's quiet. It removes tiny layers of stress that most people don't even realize they're carrying every day. Psychologist Daniel Kahneman often talked about how our brains react much more strongly to losses than gains. Once basic financial fears disappear, your daily decisions suddenly become less emotional. But here's the twist. New problems immediately take their place. Imagine you're sitting in class. Nobody knows you're worth over $1 million. The teacher calls on you. The same homework, the same cafeteria food, the same exams. On the outside, absolutely nothing changed. But inside your head, every conversation feels different. Do you tell your friends? If you don't, are you hiding something? If you do, will they ever treat you normally again? Let's test it. Two teenagers both have exactly $1 million in assets. Teenager A buys a brand new supercar, expensive clothes, luxury watches, and posts every purchase online. Within weeks, followers explode. Messages flood in. Suddenly, everyone wants to hang out. It feels incredible for about a month. Teenager B still wears normal clothes, upgrades only the things they actually use every day, quietly invests most of the money, and never mentions the number unless absolutely necessary. Almost nobody notices. Who's happier after 1 year? Surprisingly, research on what's called the hedonic treadmill, studied by psychologists like Sonja Lyubomirsky, suggests that flashy purchases lose their excitement much faster than people expect. That dream car slowly becomes just your car. Meanwhile, protecting your privacy often becomes more valuable than showing your success. And then comes something nobody warned you about. People start making assumptions before you've even spoken. Some assume you're lucky. Some assume you're spoiled. Others assume you must be a genius. The funny part? Most of them are wrong, because money tells people almost nothing about your personality, yet they'll confidently fill in the blanks anyway. Even dating becomes strange. If someone seems interested, a tiny question appears in the back of your mind. Do they actually like me, or the version of me they imagine? It's not paranoia, it's uncertainty. And uncertainty is exhausting. Then there's the internet. Every day you scroll past influencers claiming that $1 million isn't even rich anymore, while another video insists it's enough to retire immediately. Both sound convincing. Both ignore context. In reality, $1 million can represent freedom, but only if it's managed wisely. Blow through it chasing status, and it disappears much faster than social media makes it seem. And that's where the real psychological game begins. Now your biggest enemy isn't poverty. It's invisible inflation, lifestyle inflation. It doesn't arrive wearing a villain's cape. It shows up disguised as convenience. A nicer apartment because you can afford it. Business class flights because economy is uncomfortable. A subscription here, a luxury gym there, food delivery twice a day because cooking suddenly feels like a waste of time. None of these decisions seem dangerous on their own, but together, they're like dozens of tiny holes in a bucket. You barely notice the leak until the water level starts dropping. Here's a simple experiment. Imagine you wake up tomorrow with $1 million in assets. Would your daily routine actually change? Most people instantly picture expensive upgrades. But if Warren Buffett walked into the room, he'd probably ask a different question. Which of those upgrades actually makes your life better? It's funny because the richest people often become experts at separating value from price. A $400 jacket isn't automatically 4 times better than a $100 one. Sometimes it's just 4 times the logo. Let's compare 2 mornings. One teenager wakes up at noon after gaming until 4 a.m. They tell themselves, I don't need to work anymore. Every day feels like Saturday. Sounds amazing for the first few weeks. Then time starts losing shape. Goals disappear. Motivation slowly fades. The other teenager still wakes up with a schedule. Maybe they're building a startup, studying engineering, making YouTube videos, learning AI, or training for a marathon. The money removed financial pressure, but it didn't remove purpose. Which life would still feel exciting after 5 years? Researchers studying long-term happiness, including work summarized by psychologist Martin Seligman, repeatedly found that meaning and progress contribute far more to lasting well-being than endless comfort. Humans adapt incredibly fast. Your dream lifestyle quietly becomes your normal lifestyle. Then there's investing, and this is where social media often turns into a comedy show. One creator says, put everything into crypto. Another screams, buy only real estate. Someone else promises promises they'll turn $1 million into $10 million with one secret strategy you've somehow never heard before. If it sounds too good to be true, your wallet should start running before you do. A teenager with significant assets quickly learns that saying, "I don't know," is actually a financial superpower. It keeps you curious. It makes you ask questions. It helps you avoid expensive mistakes made by people who are absolutely certain, mate Blaze Sutton, and absolutely wrong. The strangest part is that opportunities begin finding you instead of the other way around. Suddenly, someone has an exclusive investment. A distant cousin suddenly remembers your birthday. A friend has the next billion-dollar business idea and just needs a little funding. You'll hear the phrase, "trust me," more times than you ever expected. And that's when you realize that protecting your money isn't nearly as difficult as protecting your judgment. Eventually, you notice something almost nobody expects. The biggest luxury isn't buying more things. It's buying more choices. You can say no to a toxic job, no to a business partner who feels wrong, no to chasing every trend just because everyone else is. Ancient philosopher Epictetus argued that true freedom comes from controlling your choices rather than your circumstances. Ironically, having money doesn't automatically give you that freedom. Learning when not to use it does. Picture this. It's Friday night. Your friends want to rent a luxury villa for the weekend. The cost barely registers to you, but then someone quietly says, "I can't afford it." What do? Option 1, pay for everyone without thinking. Sounds generous, but next weekend, the expectation is already there. Option 2, cancel the idea and choose something everyone can enjoy together. Less glamorous maybe, but it protects something far more valuable than money: equality in the friendship. These are the kinds of situations nobody includes in those how to become a millionaire before 20 videos. Another funny thing happens. You become harder to impress. The first expensive watch feels exciting. The 10th one? It's just another watch telling the same time. The first luxury hotel feels unforgettable. After the 5th, you're mostly comparing pillows and Wi-Fi speeds. Your definition of luxury quietly shifts from expensive things to peaceful experiences. A weekend with genuine friends starts feeling richer than another shopping spree. And here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. One evening, you're scrolling through old photos from before the money. Cheap pizza, secondhand furniture, a beat-up laptop that sounded like it was preparing for takeoff every time you opened 5 browser tabs. Everyone in the pictures is laughing. Nobody cared about net worth. Suddenly, you realize something uncomfortable. Those memories aren't valuable because you had less. They're valuable because everyone around you was focused on living instead of comparing. Economist Morgan Housel writes in The Psychology of Money that wealth is what you don't see. The sports car is visible. The investment quietly growing in the background isn't. The person showing off every purchase may actually be less financially secure than the one driving an ordinary car and sleeping peacefully at night. That's a strange idea until you think about it. So, what's it actually like to have $1 million in assets as a teenager? It's exciting. Absolutely. It's empowering. It removes problems that can genuinely make life easier. But it also introduces questions that can't be answered with a credit card. Who do you trust? Who are you without your bank balance? And if nobody knew how much you owned, would you still make the same decisions tomorrow? Because the moment you stop asking, "What can money buy?" and start asking, "What kind of life is this money helping me build?" that's when having $1 million finally starts feeling like real wealth. And that's a completely different game. So if you imagine that having $1 million as a teenager means endless luxury and zero problems, the reality is far more fascinating. The money buys options, comfort, and freedom from many everyday worries. But it also tests your judgment, relationships, discipline, and identity in ways nobody warns you about. In the end, your bank balance doesn't decide your future. Your decisions do. Because real wealth isn't having the most money. It's having the freedom to build a life you genuinely don't want to escape from.